Good morning. So, CGC sold. And I did see this a couple of days ago, but I wanted to let it marinate and really think about things and how I think it's going to affect the market and the positive and negatives of how I think it's going to affect each one of us. And, well, let's see what I think and see if you agree with me. Stick around. Well, welcome back, everybody. So, yeah, like I said, we've got some big news this week, and I wanted to do a little bit of research on it, and also I've actually worked for a couple of companies that while I was working there, they sold. So I can give you a perspective of what's going to happen pretty much inside the factory from the average worker standpoint, not from upper management. So first off, let's take a look at what the actual sale was. They actually haven't said, or maybe I just haven't seen it, a actual definitive value of the company. What was announced was that the Blackstone Group purchased a controlling interest in CCS, which is CCG, Certified Collectors Group, which breaks down a lot of different divisions, and I'll get to that, for $500 million. Now, a controlling interest is 50.1%. So, are they saying that did they do that? And they think that the company is worth $1 billion? Possibly. Did they buy 99% and somebody else still has a few shares and it's worth $501 million? Who knows? Did any of us think that CGC was, or CCG, too many initials is going to be in this video, I'm telling you right now, is worth $500 million? No, I didn't. But, I'm shocked, and I'm happy for whoever got paid and is now going to sit on a very long luxury yacht out off the coast of Sarasota, Florida, watching the mayhem inside. But, they built the company up, and they took risks. I'm sure they invested money on their own, and it's not like they worked a 9 to 5. The guys that own this company, they worked a lot to promote it and sweat it and everything, and these are the fruits of their labor. So congratulations to them. What does this mean though for Blackstone Group? Well, first of all, Blackstone Group is worth, where did I write that down? $554 billion. So this is not even 1/1000th of their money. This is like chump change to them, but it's still a sizable investment that they don't want to lose. A lot of people say, oh, it's Jay-Z and Rock Nation. No, they're investing through Blackstone with the Blackstone advisors. And, if you don't know much about Jay-Z, he is actually quite the entrepreneur. He spearheaded the New Jersey Nets getting moved to Brooklyn and getting their own arena, and they've turned into, well, they're a playoff team this year. They were a joke for a lot of years. Knicks can't say they're a playoff team yet. He has other investments as well. He invested in a lot of startup companies. He's, good. He knows what he's doing. I'm making videos here with 460 subscribers, and he's making billions of dollars. I'm not going to criticize him. Okay, he's a lot more popular than I am. So they invested not in CGC, okay? They invested in the CCG, the entire Certified Collectors Group. So that encompasses CGC, grading of comics, CCS, which is the cleaning and pressing and preservation of comics, NGC, which is the grading of coins, NCS, which is kind of like CCS. They do the cleaning and preservation of coins before they get graded. PMG, which is the paper money grading. CSG, which is cards, like baseball cards, basketball cards, Pokemon cards. And judging from the investment group with JC and his the other people that are in his investment group that work through Blackstone, I believe he's got the GM of the Philadelphia 76ers and a few other sports people. I think that this is what caught their attention to the company in the first place. ASG, which grades stamps, and CAG. Now, CAG is actually interesting. CBCS will do autograph authentication. They have their handwriting analysts and whatever programs they use to verify that this signature is Stan Lee's and this one is Jim Shooter and Jack Kirby or whomever. But what CAG does is they do item verification. Like if I were to say, well, this, it's like, what do you call that? That antique roadshow. It's kind of like that. Somebody, they can send something in saying, this came down from my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, and it belonged to Benjamin Franklin. And I've got this and this to prove it. Well, they can take the item and, check the authenticity and make sure that it was made by a certain period of time and see if there's any, they're the ones that do the authentication of an item to verify that it is what it is. It's supposed to be and not a replica or just it's a pair of glasses from the 1700s, but we can't prove it was from Benjamin Franklin. Whichever, that's the way they, that's what their company does. They guarantee what they can as far as items, not signatures. Okay, got through all the initials. I'm so proud of myself. I thought I was going to screw that up for sure. So, but what does this mean to us? Well, first and foremost is I really don't think that people need to worry about a bubble as much as they were. Now, yes, I am saying that they invested in the company as a whole, which has got coins and sports cards and everything else. Comics right now is a big, big chunk of what they're investing in. I think that's probably their biggest bread and butter right now. If their investment advisors, their market analysts are much better than you or me. Okay, that's what they do for a living. They're specialists. They're making probably 7 figures to figure out the stuff way before you and I can. They don't have to watch YouTube channels to try to get information. They are the information. So if there was going to be a bubble, if there's a bubble on the horizon, and this entire market is going to not crash, but definitely take a dip, that would be the time that you would want to buy a company when their business is really low. So the fact that they're investing right now $500 million means that they do not think anytime soon that value is going to be any lower than right now. That means that they foresee that this hobby is either going to stay or grow. Actually, they think it's going to grow, because if it's going to stay, there's no point in investing. So their super analysts that they use there for their $554 billion company of just doing investments thinks that this is the time to buy CGC. That kind of makes me feel a little better about the hobby and makes me not want to sell some, there are some books that I'm like, should I get rid of them just in case there is a bubble? Well, I'm not going to do that now. Actually, I'm some of my books I'm going to hold on to. And it makes me feel better about doing it. I mean, I did lose quite a bit in cryptocurrency not too long ago. I'm still up overall, but man, if anybody's in cryptocurrency, did that take a dive about a month ago? And it's very, very slowly creeping up because people are very tentative. In the long run, it'll be back up again. Just like baseball cards took a dive in the 2000s and comic books took a dive in the 90s. These are market corrections. They're not market eliminations. So I think that based on this, we're pretty good. Now, getting to what I was talking about, that I had been working for a couple of companies while they went through a sale. And the people on the floor, they don't know anything. This is hush hush. The people over the top they want to make sure that nobody knows anything, because they don't want anything to be done to change the value of what they're trying to sell. What they want to do is make the value look as high as possible, so that way they can get the highest price. It's like there's an old trick when you're selling your car. If you've got smoke coming out of your engine, out of your tailpipe, you put dishwashing soap in your oil, and now all of a sudden you don't have smoke. You still have a bad seal. You still have oil going into your engine. You're just hiding it. And that's what companies will do, is they will mask certain flaws or over accentuate. different positives to make it look like the company is doing better than it is. CGC is not doing bad, but here's my thought process. I think that our quality problems are going to go down. I don't think they're going to be eliminated, but I think the quality problems are going to be down. One of the things that you try to do when you're selling a company is you want to get as much sales as possible. When I was working through companies as they were going through a sale prices, we were trying to push product out the door as much as possible, decrease our inventory, and increase our sales and get as much money coming in and going into our bank account as possible. And looking back, it's so our owners could go to the perspective of buyers and say, look at all these sales we're making. We're killing it right now. This is what it's like. Yeah, we sell all this money. So that's why I think that they were ignoring a lot of the quality problems, and just so they could send these things out and bill for them. Speaking of billing, I recently got billed for 4 out of my 7 submissions on one shot, on one day. 3 of those submissions are still scheduled for grading. CGC never did that before. They did not bill until they were done with the grading. And the reason on that is if they went through and said, okay, you put a modern, hey, you snuck a Silver Age. Or value tier. No, this is an ASM 300. It doesn't go in the value tier. They would change your bill and mark it up, and then give you the finalized bill. You paid it, and they sent you your books. Well, they didn't do that last month. They actually billed like everything that they had actually was scheduled for grading, which are still scheduled for grading, by the way. They still haven't made it to the grading floor. They billed me for everything, and they got all that money in. And I looked at, well, why are they billing me for all 4 of these in one shot? Which really, I wasn't expecting that hitting my bank account, let me tell you. But it's because they want all the money coming in, okay? They want to rush and send these orders out as fast as possible, bill, make as much money, and everything becomes rush. The new owners will take over, and now there's no rush to get orders out to make the sales look good. There's still a rush to try to get things moving to get the backlog down, but that's different. And one of the things that the new ownership will be looking at is overtime. How much money is being spent on overtime? And their first goal will be to lower it down. Make sure the quality problems go away, cut the overtime, and let's see what we have to work with. Which brings me to the next point, submission time. That's going to be going up. I think that the amount of time from when we submit to getting books back is actually going to increase over the next few months, if not a year. Again, I think most people, instead of waiting 14 weeks and getting back a bad slab, they'd rather wait 15 or 16 weeks and get back a good slab. Okay, so, but what does that mean in the long run? Okay, so I think 3 different things are going to, people are going to go one of 3 different paths. One, some people are going to, they're the die-hard super people with CGC. No matter what happens, they're going to submit to them. And, it's their books. They can do whatever they want. That's fine. I think they will continue to submit. I think they're going to be another group of people that are going to want to wait and see what is going on. Maybe they won't even submit to anybody. They're going to have stacks of books building up going, I want to see what some of these returns come back and see other people's videos and hear some reactions to know what's this new ownership, what's it going to be like. So they're going to sit on books and not submit it to anybody, or just start selling them as raws. There is a market for that, people. By the way, I think this will be a good time to buy raws because I think the market is going to become a little bit more saturated in that. And there will be people that will switch to CBCS, or possibly even one of the other grading companies like PGX. This is a good chance for them to try to reestablish their, try to prove their legitimacy. I think CBCS is going to get flooded and their submission time is going to be going up. So the path that I'm going to choose, I'm going to cut down on my submissions. I am going to submit what I do have at this time and to CBCS until I see what's going on. I think within a year, you're going to see new facilities and increased capabilities from CGC to expand to other locations, other cities, You can't just keep adding buildings in the same location and expect more people coming from nowhere. They would be much better served to find out where there are markets, job markets that have a lot of people that are looking for jobs that are qualified for this sort of thing. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in San Diego that follow comics. They got a pretty good convention there too. But I think in a year from now, after they've had a chance to really analyze what's going on and build some additional facilities, which they announced that they're going to do, that they're going to become regional. Like if you're in New York, you're not going to be mailing to Florida. You might have an address somewhere in Connecticut to mail to, and the guys in Washington will be mailing to somewhere in Oregon or California, which will also cut down on the shipping costs, which doesn't hurt us at all either. As a result, I think CGC will emerge from this much, much stronger than they are right now. And it's really going to put a lot of pressure on companies like CBCS, PGX, and the other grading companies as well to really up their game, or they're gonna get buried. They really are. So anyway, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna cut this short. I'm well over 15 minutes, but I thought that this is important, and I didn't want to rush it. That's why I wanted to stew on the information. But again, here's a reminder. I'm still somewhere in the 460s on the subscriber list. I really want to try to get up there, but I'm going to get to 500 subscribers. I'm going to be giving away my Venom Manual #1, signed by Cates and Stegman, in CGC 9.8 white pages. And all you have to do is go to the 500 subscriber link, which is right here at the end of the video. Make sure you're a subscriber. Watch the video, like it, well, click like anyway, and leave a comment, okay? Keep it clean and non-political, please. And when I hit 500 subscribers, I will grab those comments, randomize, and mail off a book. And we start working towards the next one at 750. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Hopefully I helped you with some information and quelled some of your fears about the comic book market going to pop. And other than that, though, as always, I'm out.